Hi guys, I'm Rex King. So the reason I review bad movies on this show is because you have to understand the bad to appreciate the truly good movies. That means every once in a while I want to talk about something terrible. Unfortunately, we have a doozy today, and that's the Emoji movie. So the Emoji movie was directed by Tony Leotis, and he originally wanted to do a modern day Toy Story, and he thought the phone was the modern day toy. So he decided to base the film around emojis, which have nothing to do with toys. I don't get this logic at all. Anyway, uh, he had help with the screenplay from Eric Siegel and Mike White. He pitched the film and it got into a bidding war between Warner Brothers, Paramount, and the studio that ultimately won, Sony Pictures. It was announced that T.J. Miller would star in the picture with Ilana Glazer as our female lead. However, Ilana Glazer ended up dropping out, so they casted Anna Faris to play Jailbreak in the film instead. The movie was released on July 28th, 2017, and it did really good at the box office, making $217 million on a budget of $53 million. However, critics, what's the word for it, hated this film. Very much hated this movie. They felt that it wasn't funny, wasn't really meant for anybody, and would not age well in the slightest. It actually won a couple Razzie Awards, including Worst Director, Worst Screenplay, and Worst Picture. I haven't seen every film from 2017, so I don't really know if this film deserved that. Anyway, is it truly the worst film from 2017 era? Is it truly as bad as everyone says? Is it a film that should be forgotten by the annals of history? Well, let's talk about it. So the Emoji movie is about an emoji who lives in an emoji city, and you can already see where this is going. This movie's terrible. But I will give it its due. So the main emoji in this movie, and every time I say that word I'm gonna get a headache, is Gene, who's a meh emoji. However, he has a problem. He apparently, unlike other emojis, can have multiple different faces and multiple different personalities. Causes a problem for when he first goes on the phone. He causes an entire chaotic wreck that almost destroys the phone. And because of that, he kind of gets pushed out of Emoji City, along with another outcast, High Five, voiced by James Corden. They go to Jailbreak, a known hacker who they believe can help them reprogram the phone to A, get High Five to be more popular, and B, to fix Gene's sort of malfunction. All the meanwhile, the leader of the phone, the Emoji Smiler, voiced by Maya Rudolph, is sending out robots to hunt down the trio and, delete them. So, yeah, as you can tell by my constant headaches from just talking about this story, this film is terrible. The story is so unoriginal. The best way to explain this movie is if you've seen the Lego movie and you've seen Wreck-It Ralph, you've seen this film. Only those movies did this story better, as really the film is devoid of any true personality. It just feels like an hour and a half commercial without any soul whatsoever. There really doesn't feel like any connection that the film's trying to make between the audience and the characters. It doesn't try to drive any points home. It really is just trying to make jokes that only 5-year-olds will appreciate. There are some okay lines here and there that actually show that this film might have had potential, but gosh darn it, it was definitely driven down by the amount of commercialization this film had to do to get off the ground. The characters do not help this fact, as most of them are one-note characters we've seen in other films. High Five is an annoying dude who just wants to be popular and has no other discernible personality. Jailbreak is your standard I want to be a strong, independent female character. And Jean, yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know much about this character. We don't really learn a whole lot about him, and he's not interesting, to be honest. Smiler is your standard I'm going to be a happy villain and just dress up everything I'm doing as being good, even though it's the wrong and obviously evil thing to do. Jean's parents get a little bit of stuff to go on with, but they're supposed to be deadpan, and that's the joke, but it just doesn't work. The performances aren't bad. Maya Rudolph as Smiler is doing a fantastic vocal performance as always. Anna Faris, James Corden, and T.J. Miller do a fantastic job as our leads. The cast is full of celebrities. Heck, we have Sir Patrick Stewart playing, and I cannot believe I'm saying this in a sentence, Poop. Because of course he is. He has grandkids, folks. He has grandkids. That's the entire reason for this, but whatever. Anyway, the film visually is like any other animated film. There was a chance to do something stylized here with the different apps these characters go into, and could have actually had some potential here. Too bad that this film decided to be as standard as possible with its style and animation and showing off the different phone apps, so we really don't get to really feel like this phone is a different world unto itself. Then you have the music, which was done by Patrick Doyle. I like Patrick Doyle. I love his score work. I have plenty of his scores. This movie did not deserve him. As the score work here, he probably was told, oh, this is for the Emoji movie, and decided to make the most bare bones, stereotypical score you've ever heard. Guys, this film is just a mess. I desperately want to try to find something positive because I truly believe that every film has something going for it, but outside of a few lines that show that the story might have had potential, this film is a waste of time! So, is it a buy? Nope. Is it a stream, which you can do on Freevee and DirecTV Stream? And even though Freevee is free, no, it's not something you want to stream. Is it an avoid to go altogether? Yes! Normally I'd be talking about the special features, but I didn't even watch them on this movie because of how bad it is! This film is absolutely atrocious. Now, is it the worst movie I've ever seen? No. Yeah, the worst movie I've ever seen is Death Rank, and I already reviewed that on Monday Night Movie when this show was still called that. This film is the type of bad that, I'll be honest with you, is harmless. Yeah, I hate this movie, and I definitely don't recommend watching it. There are plenty of other better movies that talk about the exact same stuff that this movie is trying to bring up. Like, again, Lego Movie and Wreck-It Ralph are better than this movie. So I'm not really sure who this movie's for. I want to say it's for little kids, but the jokes make it seem that way, but I don't think they would even understand what this movie's trying to talk about as, well, I don't know how, like, ingrained phones are to exactly little kids' lives. I would say this is maybe for young adults in that case, but the jokes are definitely beneath them, and no adult is ever going to want to watch this. So at the end of the day, this movie is an absolute pass. There's no reason to see it. And that's the absolute worst thing I can say about a movie. Well, we need something a little bit better in our lives. So we're going to talk about the 1950s Moulin Rouge next week. See you then.